Hello, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to be learning how to build AI bots. When we talk about AI bots, AI in full means artificial intelligence. And when we talk about a bot, we're talking about, it seems like in full, you can consider it like a robot, but in real sense, we're talking about something that can be able to be automated and give responses. So we have seen a lot of bots coming up. There are bots which answer a particular, they answer a particular, they respond to a particular message on social media based on a particular word. So for example, I can create a bot that anytime I mention the word African STEM girl, it kind of responds in a particular way. So AI bots are really huge. And right now, one of the most common bots that is really being used across the world is ChatGPT. For those who are unfamiliar with ChatGPT, ChatGPT is an AI platform that you can use to generate any response of any information you're looking for. So you just type a message and it's able to give you a response. So for example, you can come ahead. So they normally say, hide your ChatGPT history. So I'm just going to quickly hide that. So for example, I can tell it, surprise me with a story about myself. Yeah, let us see. So based on how frequent I have used ChatGPT, it will be able to give me a story from my interaction with it and all that. So it's able to give me a story. So this is the story. It has generated ChatGPT, another platform, AI platform that is also almost considered similar with ChatGPT is Cloud. And actually, some people say Cloud AI is a little bit better. So Cloud is also a platform that you can use, you can engage it, ask it questions, and it can be able to give you a response. So there is Cloud AI as well. Another one that is currently a product of Google is known as Gemini AI. So this is an AI tool that allows you to be able also to just still chat and ask it questions about various topics. So even with ChatGPT, I could have easily asked it questions about various topics. So as you can see, currently they're saying it's your personal assistant, and it's true. Some people are currently really maximizing AI in their day-to-day, and they're really using it to help them to ease some of the task and even automating a lot of responsibilities or a lot of things. So if you come here and say, hey, what is AI? You can ask it like that. You don't need to say, hey, I've just decided to add it. You can just add what is AI. So there, and it gives you a response automatically. So for something to be considered, if we look at the words artificial and intelligence, for something to be considered intelligent, let me start with that. That means that that particular tool, or even if it's an individual like you and I, that means we have been given we have been fed a wide array of information. So the more information we have, it can be on a particular matter or generally, the more information we have, the more intelligent we become. Because if somebody asks us a question, we are able to give responses and accurate responses to the question they have asked. So we'll be considered intelligent based on the more questions you're able to answer comfortably and in a correct way and in a more accurate way. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, first of all, we consider it artificial just mainly because, it is systems which are learning, it is computers, it's no longer human intelligence, it is artificial, it is machines which are learning. So when we talk about, if we recap the part for the intelligence part, you have to feed it information. So the same thing, we have to feed information to our machine so that anytime we ask our machine anything, it's able to respond based on the information it has been given. So let us look at how we normally feed information, and that feeding of information and data to our machine is what we call machine learning, where we are able to train a machine based on as much data as possible. So for example, I can train a machine with data on math, a particular topic in math. So what will happen is I can be able to tap into the machine and make use of the machine based on this wide range of information it has, or ask it question on maths based on the informations that it has. So those are some of the things that is one of the ways that we can make use of, or we can make something to be intelligent and to train it using the data. Another thing that is being used is computer vision. Right now, we are really getting into the visual aspect of AI, as we know, with the rise of social media, with platforms like TikTok, with platforms like Instagram and all that. There is a lot of visual and graphics. So what people are doing is they are creating this visual, or they are training their machines to also identify visual images, and that is what we call computer vision. So also there is now what they call the natural language processing, which is just basic, making sure that your machine is able to understand when we talk to it, when I use speech, if maybe I'm just like, I tap like this audio and I use the microphone, how we make sure that this AI is able to recognize what I'm talking about and to capture the main things that I am responding. So robotics is basically just making something to work automatically. For example, you can set an alarm that wakes you up at 7 a.m. And if it rings for 2 minutes without you snoozing, it stops and then maybe becomes louder at 7:05 or something like that. So you have automated that process. You don't have to actually click it for it to be louder. It becomes louder automatically. So that is also part of AI. So you can see AI has become like a combination of various things. So so those are some of the tools that are available for AI. They're not the only tools. And there are other tools like AI image generator. There is music generator nowadays. So if you come here, you can text whatever you want. So I can be like a picture of an African girl on a laptop. And if I click generate, let us see if it will be able to generate that for me. Hope it won't need me to start generate. Yeah, I didn't want to start signing up. Oh, but I already have an account here. So that is coming up. It is loading. So while that is happening, oh, there it is. So here are different images of African girls. So all I did is just specify whatever I wanted, and it has been able to generate different pictures. And you can even edit the style. Maybe if you want a particular style, you can even add some effects. You can even go ahead and maybe add a particular character and so forth. So AI, as well as these are all AI generated. These are not real people. It's AI generated, but what AI has done is it has used the information we have put on our social media on different places to be able to get such information. So we have that. So we can also look at video, AI video generator. So there are many, just like even for the images, there are very many options. So we can see that there is a huge rise in people just wanting whatever, specifying what they want and getting it. So I can be like a room, and maybe it can be a small room or a mansion full of mice. I don't know why I haven't thought that. So let me just say generate. So this is going to generate, oh, this should have been off. I don't know if that will affect. Let me see. So these are some AI generated videos that you can see here. I like this one. This one looks, so this is purely AI generated. So wait, I don't know if it had stopped now, our generation. Okay, let me repeat that. So I can be like, maybe we can write an African girl typing on her laptop. Let us use something different. Just come ahead and so this will, as this is loading, let us look at music, AI music generator. So what this has happened is that it's able to compose beats, it's able to compose songs, it's able to finish songs. Maybe if you have started a song and you really don't know where to finish, so it's really helping especially young artists who want to have their own song. So you can see there are various options. I would want one where I can write a prompt. Let me try Suno, where I can write a prompt and it actually gives me a song associated with that. So here it is. You can see Afro and electronic. So maybe I can write an Afrobeat about AI. Let's just write that and generate. You can see it's telling me I need to sign up. I didn't want to sign up just because I kind of wanted to, but you can see that is something you can just type and go ahead and move on. Let me see if our video has come up. So here's our video, and this is not such a bad video. You can download it as a video or as a GIF, and you can use it in other platforms. So as AI, of course, is becoming better and better, it will improve, as you can see, enhance AI generation with improved quality and creativity and length. I think you have to pay. And they can say 30 videos cost 5 USD. So you can see that is just, it's not a bad thing, so that means there's a lot of customization based on AI, and that is what AI is bringing to us. Is I will no longer just have to do with whatever is there, is that I can be able to customize whatever I want. So that is AI for us and the different tools that are available. So let me go back to machine learning, and I'm going to use a particular platform known as machine learning for kids. Actually a good platform, just shows us how actually the training of machine learning works. Remember, I talked about machine learning being able to train your machine or to train a machine to recognize something. So I'll just do try without registering for now. Let me just, before I go so far, let me go ahead and just share this link so you can be able to do it also on your free, on your own. So here I'll add a new project, and I'll add the project name as, I can choose, what do I use today? I think I can just do lion versus maybe we can do cheetah. And I can say this project type, I just want it to recognize image. So you can see it gives me various options. Do you want it to recognize text, images, numbers, sounds, and so forth? So I'll just say images, and I'll come to my storage and I'll say this should be stored in the web browser. I don't really want to start storing it. It's just something that we are trying out. So it's in the web browser. If you rejoin, if you refresh it, you will lose everything. Okay, so I'll come here and I'll click on train. So I'll add a new label. So one label will be lion. I'll add it, and the other one, it will be cheetah. So what we will do, we can put some pictures up here that will, because remember we said we want to use it to recognize images, so we will upload some pictures. So I do have some lion pictures, several of them, so I will just select all of them. I even had some for good. So I do believe I should also have some for cheetah. So the more information you give it, the better. And that's one thing about AI. AI is only able to work better with the more information you give it. So if you give it a lot of information, it's able to really, really function better and become really good in recognizing different things. So I have put different images of lions, and I have put some cubs, some lionesses, same here. So I'll come here and just go back to project. So that section is called training. You're training the model, you're collecting examples to help the machine to be able to distinguish between the lion and the cheetah. So now what we are going to do, we are going to test it. We are going to see, has it been able to, with the information you have given it, is it able to recognize? So I'll come here and click train new model. And then the next thing that I will do, well, that is opening up. I'll just go to a new tab and look for an image of a lion. Just type lion. Go to images. And I'll just select one of the pictures. I'll try to select a picture that I do not have in the images that I selected. I think we can pick this one. I don't think I have this one there. Click on it and go to right click on it and go to copy image address, and then come back here. So it was training itself. So that's what was happening. It was using that data. It was using it to compare the different information that we have. So the next thing we're going to do, we're just going to paste this and test. So it recognizes with, I don't know if you guys can see, but here it's telling me that it has recognized that this is a lion with 73% confidence. So based on that data, it has been able to recognize that that is a lion, and the confidence it has that it's a lion is 73%. So let me see if let me pick this picture where it's I think this is an AI generated picture. Let us see if it will be able to recognize. So copy image address. So even if the text here has the word lion, it won't matter because we told it to compare the images. So its focus is just on images. Yeah. So you can see this is interesting. It's telling me that this is a cheetah with 71% confidence. The reason why it's telling me that probably is because I need to add more pictures of maybe a lion family. I need to add those variations as well so that it can know, oh, when you have such a picture which have different animals, it does not mean it's a cheetah, it means it's a lion. Let me try this one. Let's see. It still recognizes it as cheetah. So that means that the AI model is not yet trained well. We need to add more data so that it can be more effective. Anytime you see it is giving you insufficient data, that means it's because of the inefficiency that is there. So if I copy this image address and I come here and I paste this and I go to test. So this, at least it has recognized it's a lion with 88% confidence interval. So even with such a lower confidence interval, it's not that low, but average. That means we still need to feed our data more so that the confidence interval can be higher. Let me try with cheetah. Let me pick this. So this one, it has recognized is a cheetah with 100% confidence interval. So that means maybe I have such an image, or the images that I have placed for a cheetah, they are really highlighting the facial features. So it's able to uniquely identify that it's a cheetah. Let me try this one while it is running. It looks so good when it's running. So copy image address. So it recognizes also a cheetah with 99% interval. So it looks like the data needs to be trained more on the lion side than it is on the cheetah side. So that is what we talk about when we talk about machine learning. It's basically you have fed data to your machine, and from that data you can ask it, like this one, you are asking it, can you confirm, can you predict if this, or can you tell me if this is a cheetah or a lion? So based on that, we are able to compare based on whatever we have. So the next thing is, we'll go to now what I want us to do today, which is to actually build an AI bot. So an AI bot is just basically like what we have seen with Gemini and all that, where we can ask it question and we expect it to give us answers. So how do they actually build that? There is a longer way where you actually program and everything, but also this is a good way, especially for beginners, to understand the point of feeding data to an AI, working on the accuracy and all that of your model, even as you get to know how to actually code and be the one who you feed the data in a different way and actually do it with coding. So mostly when you want to code such AI models, the most popular programming language that is used is known as Python. So maybe that's something I will look into doing later on. So here, I'm just going to sign in. I already have an account. If you don't have an account, just click on Get Started. I'll just click on it, but I won't go the whole way just because I already have an account. Click on Get Started. I don't know if it will detect I already have an account. Hope not, so that I'm just able to show you. So there are many also tools it has already detected. So there are many tools apart from VoiceFlow that can also be used to do what we are doing today. Okay, so I'll come here. So once you have already created an account and you sign in, you can come here now and you'll see, you will land on such a page. So I'll go to where it's written new agent, and I will just, maybe I can write YouTube. Yeah, and click get started. This page, you can actually import a web page. That is, you can, if you already have a website and you wanted to get information from it, you can put it here, or you can upload maybe like a file or a document that has information. I'll show you the difference. So maybe right now I can upload or I can use the African STEM Girl website to be able to train and see how this AI model will work. So let me come here and paste it and do import. So it's just training itself based on the data that I have provided it from the website. So automatically it gives me a pop-up here. We call this an AI bot that you can ask it. It's very similar to how ChatGPT was. It's only that now this one, it's specific to this information that I have put from the website. So I'll come here and I'll just ask it, what is African STEM Girl? It has to be specific to whatever you want to learn, or to whatever type of data you have fed it. So I'll say, okay, I'll just click on that blue button. So let us see. So you can see it tells me information about African STEM Girl. This information has been retrieved from the website. So it has just gone ahead, fed itself information from the website, and now it has come ahead and shown me some of and given me a summary. So I can ask it, does African STEM Girl have any books? Yeah, so you can see it has it tells me that we have books. So do they have a YouTube channel? So let us see what it will tell us. So it tells me that they do have a YouTube channel, and it even gives me a link that if I click, let me see, if I click on that link, it actually takes me to the African STEM Girl YouTube channel, and it shows that we are live, which we are. So this is what we consider, or this is how we normally approach like an AI bot. And you see, it is automatically able to answer questions based on the information we have given it. And the information we have given it is the africanstemgirl.com email. So it's really, really interesting and all that. So maybe if there are some things you'd want to change, maybe how it is saying hi or stuff like that, you now come to where, let me just close this and chat. I come to where it's written workflows, and I can come to where it is written home and say edit workflow. So automatically by default, it normally adds some dummy workflows, or some, let me say, not dummy, I don't mean like, I just mean like it adds some initial workflow or default. So you can see this is the question we were seeing here. see too, it's asking us, hey there, I'm your new AI agent, ask a question and so forth. So you can see it is doing that. So I can come here and I can edit this. I can be like, hey there, maybe I can say my name, maybe I can, or I can say I am African STEM girl AI assistant. STEM girl AI assistant. Maybe I can just leave it at that. Yeah. And now I can continue to this next one, and I can be ask me anything about African STEM girl. Yeah, so you can add it like that. So what will happen is if I come to the play button here, let me see if I'll see those new text, and you can see it's they have reflected. Hey there, I am African STEM girl AI assistant. Ask me anything about African STEM girl, and it will now continue answering. So maybe I can be like, what is African STEM girl? Let us see if it will continue the conversation. Yes, it still continues the conversation, mainly because there is already a knowledge source, a point of reference that has been added. And that knowledge source, we can actually find it here, where this is the knowledge base, and it's actually as the question and all that. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. We will get to that point. Let us come back here. So let us with that, let us remove all this. We don't need it at the moment. I'm just going to remove all this. I start afresh. I'm just going to leave the start. Let me move this down. I accidentally clicked on that, so I can just backspace. And I'll also remove this. So now I have a clean starting point. All I have is the start. So what I can do is whenever you have an AI, and actually if right now, before I continue, if right now I come and click the play button, guess what happens? It ends automatically, just because when it starts, I have not connected it to anything. So you have to think of this as a flow. What is the flow of your data? How is it moving along? So you can either be the AI is talking, it is giving a message, it is tapping into a prompt, and we'll see what that is. Showing an image, it's showing a card, it's showing a carousel, or it is listening. It's listening to what the user does and stuff like that. Are they clicking on a button? Have they selected a particular choice? Is it captured something? And then we have conditions, and we'll see what these are, and we'll just also look at all this. So let me start with message. I'll click on it. Oh no, you have to select it and drag it. So I'll drag it. Let me just move it like this. And you can be like, maybe this can still be like the welcome message. Welcome. So what I'll do is here where we have this circle, I'll just drag and automatically a line will appear, and I can just connect those two. And here I can add a message that says, so you click and you come and type here and be like, hello or hi. This is, or you can be like, hey, let's learn coding today. or let me say, hey, I am your AI coding learn AI teacher. Yeah. And then we can leave it like that. And we can add another message. So just come to message and add it. You can add it in here. Okay. And it can be like, what would you want to learn today? Add it like that. So if I come now and click play, let us see how things will go. So, hey, I am your AI coding. What would you learn today? But it will end there just because we have not added more information. What, and then after that, we still need to add more. So I'll come here and I'll select actually some buttons. And I'll say here in button, I'll just click plus and I'll say this should be a HTML button. I'll add another one that says this is a CSS. I think we can use this too for now. So I have a HTML and a CSS button. So if I come and click play, what do you want to learn? So HTML or CSS. So I can select, if I select HTML, what happens? It ends. Let me start a new chat. Let's see what will happen if I select CSS. If I select CSS, what happens? It still ends because I have not given the next steps to this button. So I can come here. Let me just move this up. So to just move it up, I'm just left clicking and just dragging my mouse. So I'll come here and I'll actually add a message. No, not there. I'll add on the outside. So when you add on the outside, it just automatically adds as a block. So I can add here and I can connect this here. And I can be like, when you click HTML, it asks you, maybe rather than actually asking, it can tell somebody something immediately about HTML. So we can also add that option and say new prompt. And we say here, tell me about, tell me what HTML is. And then I can call this HTML. Just something simple. And I can add that. So what happens here is you are tapping into AI, already existing AI. We looked at ChatGPT, Cloud, and all that. So let me just click add first and add conversation history and say run. So what we are doing is we are using platforms like ChatGPT, Cloud to get information on AI. They already have this information. So if there is information that maybe we haven't written this down already and uploaded it, or we haven't done anything, but we want our users to still experience it, we can tap into that. And if we go to settings, you can see that this response is from Cloud. If you want it from other areas like GPT or stuff like that, you can still select, and even you can see there's Gemini, which we checked, but you have to pay to access that. So for now, let us stick to maybe ChatGPT 4. And so temperature is just how random do you want the responses to be and the maximum tokens you want them to use. So if I come here, so you can see now the text is a little bit different than what I was getting from Cloud. If I go back to Cloud, it's not that any is right or any is wrong. It's just that some AI models normally give you different answers as compared to others. Remember when I said that Cloud is considered a little bit better than than ChatGPT. This is also one of the reasons why it is considered. You can see this is the response for ChatGPT. I mean, for Cloud, and as compared to what we had for ChatGPT. So you choose, and also there are different versions of Cloud. There is, as you can see here, there is Cloud 2, Cloud 3. So there are so many other different versions, and those are depending on the releases of Cloud. So I can just say add to conversation. You can add, there is no problem, where they always get this answer if that's what you want, or you can just leave it and they will be getting an answer, a different answer every other time. So you can have that. So we can add a text and be like, maybe you can say, would you like to see an example of HTML code? We write that, and then let me just press enter, and then we can come here, here in the listen, and add the two buttons. Maybe one says yes, the other one says no. Maybe you can say yes. Show me example, or you can just say yes, just the word yes, and I add another one that says no. Yeah, so we have those different buttons. So let us see how it will work up to that point. So I can come here. So remember, I only selected I have only right now added the code for HTML. So that's what I will go with first. So HTML. So it's just prompting from the AI. So you can see these are some of the examples. So here's a HTML stands for this. It allows you to structure some key things. Here they are. Yeah. So what is this? I think it did not finish the text, and that's something we need also to look into. And then, would you like to see an example? Or I wrote the word example. So if I say yes, nothing will happen at the moment. So let me go ahead and just edit this. Example. And let me also go back to my HTML prompt. Let me edit prompt. Let me click on it and edit prompt. You can click also on the pen, and we can come back to settings. No, actually there's no need of that. Let us go back to settings. Let me add some more text here, maybe up to that. Let us see if that will give me a better option. Let me run just to see. So either I go short or I go long. So let us see. I'm just taking some time. Yeah, so I like this because it gives me an opportunity to see a little bit more. And if I really like this response and I want people to just be shown this response, that's where you click and say add to conversation, so that anytime they ask, this is what they get exactly. Okay. Okay, so if I come here, no, I don't want all this. Wait, what have I done? Can I add this to conversation? Yes. Yeah, let us go back. So let us see how that now will look like. So if I click play, or run, however you say it. So I'll go to HTML. Does this help me explain what it lets me know? Oh, it did not add that response. So that means when I just let me end chat. When I come here and I add this conversation text, let me just remove this from here and I go back. We will look into that, how to do that as well. Let me add this. So there it's the AI now has kind of taken over and it's asking it more, the user more about our HTML, which that's not what we want. Okay, so as you can see, it has given some of the text, it has added more to it. So it's like, would you want to see more about an example of HTML? So if I say yes, of course it will close just because I haven't added anything. So I can come here, yeah, and now I can add another prompt here. So if you have already existing HTML code that you want somebody to see, you can add. But if you don't, you can just still use AI to generate for you that. So no, you have to make sure you connect it. Yeah. So I'll come here and I will add a new prompt. Let's say example of HTML code. I'll just add that to conversation history. I don't need to keep testing this. Maybe if I want it to still be, I can use the same AI model that we used. I can specify there. So I can come here. Oh, let me edit this prompt. Let me just write HTML code, just so, rather than it having the word untitled. Oops, that did not edit. HTML code. So if I close this and I come here and I click play, so I can say HTML, generating something from ChatGPT, from Cloud. We use Cloud AI. So you can use any. I've showed you how to go to settings and you select. So if you want maybe to put a particular text, you can do. So you can see it has given a different response from what we had, and that's the thing. It will be giving just different people different responses. Let's do an example of a HTML code. If I select yes, yeah, there it is. So it has shown me an example of a HTML code and it has ended the code there. So as you can see, there is a lot that you can continue doing. Now you can do even for CSS. What do you want the user to be told when they say no? So here you can go ahead and add a new block of message that maybe says, maybe it asks, is there anything else you want to learn? What if they say no, they click no, they don't want to learn about, they don't want to see the example of the HTML code. So that is my expectation. And then I can come here and I can add also some buttons. So here you can now write CSS Maybe you can be like, you can say no, I'm fine. Yeah, so we have those two buttons. So now when you get to the CSS, you can add a new prompt. Yeah, and when I come here, I add a new prompt, say what what is CSS, and add the conversation history. We can put the settings. So let us just use the same cloud for the whole AI, so that we don't have different responses looking a little bit different. Let me just rename this. I have to click on it, yeah, and say CSS. Okay, I can just say CSS prompt, or you can just leave it as CSS. There's no problem, depending on how you want to name. And then maybe when somebody says, no, I'm fine, you can come here. No, let me connect it. Like, okay, can be like, that's okay. I hope I was helpful. So you can even continue. Do you think I was helpful? Yes or no. So you can just continue with as much as you want. And then now here in the CSS, maybe to add more. Let me just move this up a little bit just so that I'm able to add more. I can be like message and be like, would you? Just almost the same thing we had, just so that I can see what we had in the HTML. I just make sure that our communication is almost similar across the app. So it can be like, would, oh, and there's something I didn't write in the other one. So it's like, would you like to see an example of a CSS code? We leave it at that, and then we can now add the yes or no. Let me go here. It can be yes and no, right? And then now with that now in mind, let me just correct here. So I just said would like, so would you, sorry, would you like? Yeah, so with that now I have that. So if they say yes, we put the prompt. So let me just confirm, how was this prompt written? Example of HTML code. So I can just do the same here. I add another prompt. Yeah. Add it. Example of CSS code. Let me call this CSS code. Let me make sure that also my AI is Cloud 2. Let me just run it. I see the example that it's going to give me, so that I know if I need to edit this prompt or not, so that my users can get a good experience. So let us see. Yeah, that's not so badly off. It's only that it's cut at some point. It has used 880 tokens. let me run it again and see if I add the number of tokens, if I get a more complete answer. That answer was incomplete at the bottom, so I just want to make sure my users are getting a more complete answer. And if that means I add the number of tokens that I use, then that's exactly what I would do. Yeah, so this is not bad. So let me come here and I will connect this to yes. Yeah, so let me just move this up a little bit just so that it looks a little bit well. And then if they say no, we can do this one. Is there anything else you want to learn? So just to make sure there is some similarity across the application. So this will be for no, so I can write is there. And then I can say, so because this is CSS, we can be like, okay, let us go and give it options for HTML and no. So if we had more options, we'll just add more options to it. So HTML, so we say if you actually select HTML, want it, let me just decrease this size a little bit so that I can connect. So I can be like, if you select HTML, come here. It comes to this block and then it repeats the same path. I don't need to repeat that. And then for no, you can be like, okay, if it's no, you can be like, that's okay. I hope it was helpful. We don't need also to write that again. So is there anything that is pending? I think here after it generates the HTML code and the CSS code, it kind of just leaves it hanging. So we can, oh, this should be no, I'm fine. It kind of just leaves the individual hanging. So here we can be like, okay, after that has happened, you can add. Is there anything else you'd want to learn? HTML or CSS. So right now we are specifying it, but you can add the parts more. So also here for CSS, we can be like, okay, for HTML, once it has rendered HTML, it asks, is there anything else you want to learn? Let's the option for CSS and no, I'm fine. I believe there is nothing that is hanging, or there is this one for CSS here. So we need to connect it with this block. Yeah, so I hope you did not get confused. So I just connected it with the CSS. Let me actually name this intro to CSS, just so that it's also good to name this block so that it connects, it gives you, you kind of know what is CSS code. Maybe we can call this HTML option. And then maybe this can be end conversation. And there is even a prompt where we can add the end conversation. But let me, this can be, is there, so this we can call this CSS option. We can call this HTML code. So this can be intro to HTML. So So all this is just based on how you decide to organize it. The better you organize them, the easier it will be for you. So the good thing is if I move around, it won't stop giving me the different options. So let me just use that to my advantage. Let me leave this here for the end of the conversation. And then we have here CSS code, and we have here HTML option, just so that if somebody chooses that. So let me just move this a little bit on the right so you can see the arrows clearly. I hope this is better than how it was in terms of visually. So we are seeing how the different arrows are flowing. I'm just trying to create some space to avoid any arrows touching each other so that you can clearly see the path that we ended up taking. No, let me just leave that there. Yeah, so if somebody selects, it takes them to introduction to HTML. If they say it gives them a front, and then if they say yes, they see the HTML code, and then is there anything else you want to learn? If they say CSS, it takes them to the CSS code. And here if they select CSS, it also takes them to the CSS code. And then if they say no, I'm fine, it ends the conversation. If they come here and they say yes, they see some CSS, is there anything else you want to learn? If they say no, it takes them to, would you like to see? Oh yeah, it gives them the option of seeing the CSS. And if they say no, I'm fine, it also says that is okay. So those are the different things that you can add to your HTML and so forth. So yeah, so that is our AI model. Let us test it. We have not yet tested it, so we'll now test all the parts. So HTML, it's taking a few minutes to load up. So if I say no, we had already seen HTML working before, so I'll just move on. So I'll say CSS. I want to learn some CSS. Always important to test your work. So you can see there is more. I would like to see example of CSS code. I'll say yes. We had seen the HTML example. Yeah, and there we say, you can go back to HTML or you can say, no, I'm fine. And so that's okay. I hope I was helpful, and it ends the chat. So that is pretty cool. We are able to learn HTML and CSS from the bot. So once you are done, this is our first model. So this one, we can publish it and we can call it HTML and CSS AI teacher, right? And then let me just say end. Yeah, and I just publish. Still some things we need to work on. Like for example, inside the prompt, they say, let me know it wants to continue the conversation. How do we handle that? That is something we have to make sure that we are cautious about and all that. So let it just finish up publishing. So now with publishing, you can be able to share and people can be able to see. So I can say I want to add agent website, but I don't think I wanted to add it to website. If you want to add it, you would just copy paste this and it's able to pick up. I think let me first also give you a description here in the general. It's called my AI agent. I can call HTML and CSS teacher, AI teacher. And so it says, no, I don't, oh, here, your AI, so it can be, hey, let's learn HTML. Let us learn introduction, because we have not added more levels to it. Introduction to HTML and CSS together. Yeah. And then chat persistence. Okay, we can leave it as never forget for now. This is just the positioning, where you want everything positioned. I don't think we can remove this. I think we shouldn't enable the voice thing right now, just because we did not work on that. Yeah. And then you can come here to appearance, scroll down, so you can upload any image you want, and you can even change the colors to any color you want. So I'm usually a fan of orange, so I'll leave it like that. I will upload a particular image for the African STEM girl. We come here. Where is it usually? Oh, yeah, yeah. Have to mind that you can see our way through. Oh, wait, there I can use a different image. I can use this, just the icon, same as here. Yeah. I think also, okay. I think here I can leave it like that for now. So, we can say African. Oh, that's too long. Just leave it like that. AI teacher, HTML and CSS AI teacher. So there is that. Yeah, so that is that. You can click play to see, and this is how it will look like, and that's not looking so bad. So we can come ahead. Let me just end chat for now. Let me just dismiss this checklist for now and go to return to workflow, and I can click share and just I wanted it no, no. Let me see how it will look like without me publishing, because publishing will need me to put it on my website and I don't want to do that right now. So let me see how it will look like if I just share without publishing. I don't know if it will detect that. Yes, so start conversation. Yeah, so it's we are able to test this out like this, so we can send it to people and they can be able to test it out. So that is exactly what we want to happen. So I'll just put this link in the chat section and you can test out what we have been able to do so far. So tomorrow we'll do more, we'll build up on this AI model to make it look good and to do whatever it's supposed to do in a good way. So see you tomorrow. Bye bye.